Hola amigos, astrologer Eric Rosen here for Celestial Conversations from Chaos to Clarity. This is the weekly astrology horoscope where I take a look at the major transits of the astrology week ahead. This is going to be from July 9th to July 16th. I do this from Wednesday through all the way through the following Tuesday and a little bit into the Wednesday of the following week. Big week this week, Capricorn full moon, especially peaks tomorrow on the 10th. Got Saturn retrograding on the 13th. Mercury is last week in its shadow period before it retrogrades in Leo, which isn't even like the biggest noise of the astrology, but I'm going to talk about all this today, so stay tuned. What I do want to say before we get into that, if you do want to get a personal astrology reading, or you even just want to check out some of my other metaphysical services, if you're on Facebook, drop a link, drop an emoji, message me. If you're watching this on YouTube, I will definitely post the links down below for that. It's a good time to revolutionize yourself, revolutionize how you're showing up, your thinking, and getting clarity and moving forward. Like, we're coming into a clearing period. We've got all those outer planets and their new signs, at least for the moment. And then also too, I am doing my higher self group coaching. I'm planning on launching that sometime around the middle of this month. It depends on the people that come forward in terms of what size group that we have. That's probably going to be a smaller, more intimate group by design. Coaching is an opportunity to get support from me where you get those 4 weeks of group coaching, and so it's like hot seat coaching. You get some teaching, and so that's actually priced at $297. So not too much more than a full-blown astrology reading, to where you're actually getting that week-to-week support integration work. So that's a cost-effective option for those people that know that they need a guide, personal transformation, but maybe not fully ready to pull the trigger on like 3 and 6 month coaching healing containers that I do for people to get them unstuck and get them to the other side of whatever it is they're wanting to do, wanting to create the full-blown blossoming of your creativity, the essence, the soul's purpose of what you're here to do, and also dealing with the relationship stuff too, because that's always part of it, right? It's always the relationships, the job, the money stuff that always gets in the way of purpose and aligning soulfully, fully. And so I help get people out of those stuck beliefs and actually get to a place of understanding how you can be your own creator. So, and then stay tuned till the end. Those folks that watch to the end of this, I'm going to talk to you about my Uranus and Gemini special that I'm going to be doing next week. So let's talk about this. Full moon in Capricorn. It's Cancer season. We want the comfort, sun in Cancer, right? We want the stability, the emotions, the feel-good energy. Full moon in Capricorn energy is really interesting because it's like that tree of life energy, the soil, the roots of Cancer, but the moon that wants to be at home down there is in its opposite position, way up, visible, public eye, career, Capricorn energy, right? So somehow we've got to find this access point between our work, personal life balance. Now with Saturn that's going to be going retrograde this week in Aries, slowing down, there's definitely effort. We still got to be taking action, moving things forward always, right? But it's like still getting in maybe some new last minute things. But really, especially when Saturn retrogrades during this full moon and Capricorn cycle, this is really saying, does the work and how you show up publicly, is that really fitting the authentic vibration of you? It's time for a new change in the work approach that's actually going to feel more comfortable for the long term. So it could feel a little like heavy lifting. It would be like going to the gym all the time. Be like, well, I'm comfortable lifting 5-pound weights. And it's like, well, you got to figure out how to build something up that gets you up to 50-pound weights, right? It's that heavy weight of Capricorn of Saturn where it's like you build the strength, like you get better at it, but like it takes some work, it takes some effort. Now, this full moon, that sun, that moon is making aspects to the nodes, which is really cool because the nodes are like served to the purpose of the sun and the moon. And so the fact that we're seeing good aspects to those nodes, North Node in Pisces, South Node in Virgo, it doubles down on this essence of it's not about being comfortable with the same old tired routine and just, it would almost be like a spiritual bypass, an emotional bypass to be like, yeah, my life sucks or my job sucks, but I'm just going to keep doing it because it's comfortable and I know it. It's like, no, it's like, it's an initiation phase of taking a new approach in the physical reality of things to go, yeah, I could stay and just do that same thing over and over again, but it's like, putting more skin in the game of a game that doesn't even want to be played. So it's more of this like spiritual route of like surrender the monotony and the old ways of approaching life, its routines, like it's the work stuff, even the home life stuff, and go, it's time for a freshening up. It could be a good time to clean the home, like declutter energy, like kind of compartmentalize life, but only if there's a spiritual intention that's not avoiding the deeper psychological transformational work that's like really wanting to come in and happen here. Now, we do have Mercury that is in its last week in its shadow period before it retrogrades in Leo. So, you know, things that need to be communicated, it's a good time to do it, especially if it's like situations like romance, kids, like just the things that we like to do that are more creative minded, like the passions like that we have. Like it's just better to like pull the trigger on some things that it's the things that have already been identified and have been developed. You already know what to do. It's astrology really is the true test of seeing it's actually harder when the planets are retrograde or try to make the change, because the planets have already decided. You're playing back the tape of what's already been done and what was already moving forward. And so this is more about like getting in some last minute things, but it's not from a place of force. It's from a place of authenticity and integrity. Like prioritization is an easy way to put it. It's like getting those things in. This Uranus that is still freshly in Gemini, it's a hoot. I have a lot to say about it. I'm going to cover most of that in the special that I'm going to do next week on July 17th. I'm going to do it, if you want to be there live, 6 p.m. Central Time. If you're watching on Facebook, I'll send the link. If you're interested, just holler at me, and then I'll, of course, drop that on YouTube as well. But it is this, like, it's important to kind of go into, like, the quantum layers of Uranus in Gemini. You know, on the surface, it could be like, well, of course, it's changes and evolutions and communication and technology, and even like on a more personal level, like thought, intellectual behaviors and that. But like when a planet comes to like the 0 degree mark and its purest energy, like, or when it's about to, that's when I always get the most downloads. And with it being Uranus, I got a lot of downloads, a lot of celestial information coming in. And so I have a lot to share about that. So I'm going to be doing that in that special. I'll probably price it at like $12 or something like that, because I want this to actually be for the people that are really going to actually factor it into their behavioral system, understanding of things to evolve. And I'll talk about how to apply these deeper essences of Uranus and Gemini to your sun, your rising sign too, like which area of life to pay attention to, focus on that. But the big thing that I will say about Uranus and Taurus like this week is like it is lightly making aspects to the Pluto retrograde in Aquarius, and same thing with the Saturn Neptune, and so that Saturn going retrograde too. So I just want to point out there's this really interesting thing going on, especially as like Mars is approaching the South Node in Virgo, where it's like our minds can move faster and there's a lot of energy moving through the system, like our central nervous system, because Uranus and Gemini, it's a lot lighter. It's an air sign. It's not trying to like move through that heavy, thick earth energy of Taurus. And so it's a lot of energy and we need to use that energy, but like, it's about like taking action and actually like deciding like, where is this the best fit? What's in my authority and my integrity that's going to really move my life forward? Because really it's like kind of like the weak point in this transit with all these things retrograding, like everything retrograding in Aries. Chiron will follow later this month. That Mars that's approaching the South Node in Virgo. We just don't have the spare tire, right? Like you can't drive down the wrong road at the wrong speed at the wrong time of day. You know, it's like the hot pavement, blow a tire out. It's like there's no spare. We don't have the extra bullets. We don't have the extra vitality to be doing the wrong things. And that sucks, because like there could be this like inner child part of Mercury and Leo, and just, you know, even the youthfulness of Aries and Virgo, and just all of it, even just the feel good summertime energy of Cancer season and Jupiter down there too, where we want to feel a certain way. We want it to like be fun and be all these things, but it's like, infusing those things into like what makes sense for life moving it forward. That's like the new you, the new identity that knows how to connect and communicate, talk with people, share ideas. And so I think some people might experience like extreme levels of burnout if they're not careful and they're not really doing a day-to-day life that they don't really enjoy, because this is like the classical evidence astrology of like those who succeed are like spiritually aligned with their efforts of like what they're doing. And sure, there's always going to be the people that do the Indiana Jones thing and get under the door just in time and sneak and manipulate and stuff, but like we're not those people, right? Like we're not here to create that karma. It's like this is the astrology to say be your best self, be on top of what you're doing, like your actions matter. Your thoughts have a giant ripple butterfly effect that's like very quantum now with Uranus and Taurus. And so the actions still have to be paired with the words, and just know that like we want to feel good and want to relax, but like for those having trouble, like maybe sleeping at night, we got to be really intentional about how we wind down our energy, and also make sure like we're taking enough action throughout the day that is in authority and integrity with what makes sense, so that Uranus and Gemini energy is getting used, like it's getting used and put into action, because it's like overstimulation central for like, it's like sitting on the phone and just thinking and scrolling or consuming information and content. Like it's not a good look, you know, like this is the astrology that favors going, okay, I have all this energy, let me go put it into something that I don't know exactly where it's going to go. I don't know if this is going to be here 3 years from now, 6 years from now. Doesn't matter. We have to kind of go through that surge of energy, that's like kind of very sacral and solar plexus, like whatever authority that you have in your human design, because most people are sacral or solar plexus. It's like move the energy, move into the thing, because it leads to the soul evolution that helps deprogram the old routine conditioned ways of work and doing things. And so we're not going to want to feel like doing that anyway, because it's like being tired and wired. So it's about rewiring the mind and the central nervous system to go in a direction that goes, oh, I actually get to do what I want to do, but the I want to do is not this. It's like a deeper spiritual essence of self. So if you want to get a personal astrology reading, you want to look at my one-on-one services, you want to look at that higher self group coaching or one-on-one coaching, and also this piece that I'm doing with that Uranus and Gemini transit that I'm going to go into the special. If you're on Facebook, just drop a comment, drop an emoji, or message me. If you're on YouTube, I'll drop the links. Keeping this one short because we all got stuff to do. Appreciate you all. I'll see you next week.